Welcome to the Big Game Hunting Podcast, where we help hunters like you prepare for the big game hunting adventures you've always dreamed of. Now, here's your host, John McAdams.
Hey everybody, John McAdams here. This is episode 195 of the Big Game Hunting Podcast. I just wanted to drop a short episode today with a couple of reminders and announcements for you. So first, this podcast releases on 4 May, which means we are just a couple days away from our podcast meet and greet with Kevin Robertson as a special guest this weekend. So make sure you put that on your calendar and RSVP if you haven't already done so. I've reserved the Conroe Taxidermy Showroom from noon to 4 p.m. on Saturday, 7 May 2022. That showroom is awesome, and it's full of some incredible animal specimens, so the atmosphere is going to be great. We'll start things off at noon with a light lunch and some socializing. Staff from Conroe Taxidermy will be there to answer questions about the taxidermy that you see and give tours of the facility. You'll get to meet me in person. Same thing goes for Kevin Robertson. Now, Kevin will also be bringing his 505 Gibbs rifle with him to the event that he's talked about before on the show, and I've mentioned it a few times in a few of my emails. I don't know how many of those rifles that there are in Texas or even the entire United States, but you might be able to count them on your fingers. So they're pretty rare. Seeing one up close like that will be a very special treat. Now, we will finish the afternoon off with 2 presentations from Kevin about hunting in Africa. He'll discuss the same sort of things he talks about when I interview him on the podcast, so you know it will be good. It will have some very entertaining stories in there and some very interesting and useful information. He has a whole slew of lectures and presentations he's put together from his years speaking at events in the U.S. as well as when he worked in South Africa. Attendees will have the opportunity to vote for the topics that he talks about, and Kevin will give his presentations on the 2 topics with the most votes. In fact, he and I were talking the other day, and he might end up doing 3 presentations if there's enough interest and if we have time. So vote for the one that you're most interested in. This will be a super fun event, and I'm really looking forward to it. Lots of other readers and listeners will be there, and I want you to join us. This event is my gift to you, and it costs nothing for you to attend. I just need to have an idea of how many people will be there so I can order food and beverages for everyone and so we can set things up appropriately for the right-sized crowd. If you haven't already done so, please RSVP by going to thebiggamehuntingblog.com/event to RSVP. Vote for the topic you want to hear Kevin talk about. Your choices are African ballistics, elephant biology and management, elephant shot placement, Cape buffalo age estimation, Cape buffalo shot placement, lion age estimation, leopard age estimation, leopard shot placement, crocodile shot placement, or hippo shot placement. Now, I've had a few people email me, ask me if they can only attend part of the event, and the answer is yes. You can arrive late, you can leave early, or both if you want. The doors will be open the whole time, and you can come and go as you please. And even if you can't come the whole time, I'd love to meet you in person if you just want to stop by and say hello, so I encourage you to do that. Now, don't worry if you can't attend at all. I will record Kevin's talks and make them available later. They won't be live streamed, but you will have the ability to consume them online a few days after the event. I've set up a Patreon page for the Big Game Hunting Podcast where I will be providing additional bonus content for paid subscribers. Don't worry, the regular show will continue as usual and for free, but those who subscribe to my Patreon channel will receive additional content I'll produce specifically for subscribers, like the recordings from this event. Now, for instance, I've already uploaded a video to my Patreon channel talking about how to reduce meat loss when hunting that you will get instant access to after you subscribe. More content along those lines is on the way via Patreon. I work my tail off to produce good quality content, but that takes a lot of time, energy, and money. And this is another way listeners can help me continue to do that going forward for just $5 a month right now. So head on over to patreon.com/biggamehunter to subscribe. That's patreon.com/biggamehunter. Now, finally, as we wrap up, I am doing a special giveaway for the upcoming 200th episode of the Big Game Hunting Podcast in a few weeks. I've purchased a copy of Kevin Robertson's book, The Perfect Shot 2. I'll have Kevin autograph it this weekend, and I will give that book away to one lucky listener during the 200th episode. That book is extremely interesting, useful, and entertaining. It is a must-own for anyone planning a trip to Africa in the future, as well as for people who just find that stuff interesting. And if you're listening to this podcast and you enjoy the content I produce, you will probably love the book. Here's what you need to do to enter the giveaway. Subscribe to my Patreon channel, or RSVP to and attend the event this weekend. Don't just RSVP and not show up. Those who attend the event and subscribe to my Patreon channel get entered twice. If you've already done either or both of those things, then you're already entered. I will ship the book for free to anyone in the USA, Canada, or Mexico. RSVP at thebiggamehuntingblog.com/event, and Patreon is patreon.com/biggamehunter. I'll put links to everything in the show notes. That is it for this episode. There will be a normal episode as usual tomorrow, so don't worry. And I look forward to seeing everyone this weekend. Remember, you can make your dream hunt turn into a reality, and I can help. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you back here next time on the Big Game Hunting Podcast.
This show may be over, but we have plenty more for you on our website. For more information on today's topic, as well as lots of other useful hunting resources, head over to thebiggamehuntingblog.com. We look forward to having you back for the next episode. But until then, happy hunting.